Hi, this is TravelVAX. Today we are here with Amir from TravelVAX, and Amir is an expert on travel vaccinations. So we're going to ask a few questions about travel vaccinations for all those who wish to find out a little bit more. If you're planning your trips to know whether or not you're going to use whether or not you need vaccinations, Amir's the best. So Amir, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and why you started your business.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm actually a pharmacist, and about 10 years ago when I graduated from UBC Pharmacy School, I started working in the community, and sometimes I get people who come in and ask, what vaccines do I need for the trip, or I'm going to Southeast Asia. Are there any vaccines that I would need? And I saw a trend, and travel medicine was not the course that was taught at UBC. So I started kind of educating myself because people come in and ask me, so I needed to know. And then because I saw the trend and the demand, I decided to actually study travel medicine. So believe it or not, I studied travel medicine. And
where did you study travel medicine?
I used the book actually.
Okay. Do you know which?
Because I had to write an exam.
Okay.
And
what was the name of it?
It's called Travel Medicine. Been a long time ago. Yeah, and also CDC Yellow Book. The American CDC has a really good book on the field of travel medicine. So yeah, I studied it for a few months because I wanted to write the exam, the ISTM, International Study of Travel Medicine. And I wrote the exam. Luckily, I passed. And then, as I started doing more and more travel vaccinations, I got more people referring their friends and families to me. And then I decided to actually take that further and created a website for our pharmacy, a travel medicine website for our pharmacy, and it's still active, the website, and it's called the business is actually called North Vancouver Travel Clinic, although it is inside a pharmacy. And yeah, so I did that for a few years, and it just kept growing and growing. And then me and my business partner, Kevin, who is also a pharmacist, we decided to take that idea and actually open travel vaccination clinics outside the pharmacy. So travel clinics that are independent of pharmacies. And that's how we started TravelVAX.
Great.
And also, I'm an avid traveler.
Where's your favorite place to travel?
I like Colombia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was there 2 years ago. Although Indonesia, Bali is awesome too.
Oh, Bali is awesome.
Yeah, so it's a toss-up between Bali and Colombia.
So do we need vaccination in Cartagena?
For the Cartagena, yes, for sure.
Okay, so Colombia, we do need vaccination.
Yes.
So my next question is, which countries do we require vaccinations and why?
Yeah, so you pretty much would need vaccinations, travel vaccines for most developing countries. If you are going to Europe, you might not need any vaccine because the risk is almost the same as here, although we do recommend that you're up to date with your routine childhood vaccinations. So if you haven't had a tetanus shot in the past 10 years, for example, you go to Europe, you go by the beach and you get a cut. Then you have to be worried about tetanus overseas. So for Europe,
not
really,
so much.
Not so much, but for any other country. So if you go to Southeast Asia, Middle East, Africa, South America, Central America, you would need travel vaccines. Now, some countries you need one or two. Some other countries, because there's higher risk for some other diseases, you might need a few.
So tetanus is one that you.
Tetanus is a routine vaccine.
Okay.
It's not really considered to be a travel.
Okay, so let's say which would be the top? Let's say I'm going on a trip. I know some friends are going to South Africa. I know when I went, I had to get those vaccines. But what other countries would you say are kind of like the top 5 countries that if someone's going, that they should consider getting a vaccine?
I would say if you go to any developing country, you do need to be vaccinated, especially for hepatitis A, typhoid, because those 2 diseases are transmitted through food and water. So you have no control over how they are transmitted. Now, certain countries might need some additional vaccines. For example, if you go to Africa, you might need yellow fever. You might need anti-malarial medication, meningitis vaccine, rabies, depending on your itineraries. So it just depends.
And
but
how
to
much...
say that there is a country that you wouldn't need any vaccinations, that would be incorrect. Okay. You actually need at least 1 or 2 for almost all developing countries.
Okay. What about in terms of vaccinations timing? Like if we are going on a trip in a month's time, 2 months' time, when should we actually get the vaccination done?
So there is no such thing as being too early, because most vaccines would give you protection for at least 1 year or longer.
Okay.
So the sooner you see a healthcare professional at a travel clinic, the better it is.
Okay.
I would say ideally you want to come latest 6 weeks before you go.
Okay.
Before you leave, I guess Vancouver, if you are based in Vancouver. But if you are past the 6 weeks time frame, there is no such thing as being too late. Even if you are leaving tomorrow, there could be 1 or 2 essential vaccines that could be given to you that would provide some protections.
Okay.
So ideally 6 weeks before you go, but if you realize that you forgot to get your travel vaccine, you are leaving in a few days, or it's an emergency trip,
it's better to get.
It's better
to get the vaccinations before.
Yeah.
So at least 6 weeks.
At least 6
okay,
weeks.
so
because there are a couple of vaccines that would need at least 2 doses.
Okay.
1 month
such
apart.
as which ones?
Like hepatitis A, hepatitis B combinations, rabies.
Okay.
Japanese encephalitis if you go to Southeast Asia.
Okay, so those are ones that you should consider. So are there any side effects to the vaccines? Like, and if we are...
Most vaccines, the side effects are transient.
Okay.
And they are mostly just a bit of soreness in the shoulder, low-grade fever for maybe 1 or 2 days.
So
headache, but they are completely reversible. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and I haven't had anybody who would have would experience side effects longer than 5 to 6 days.
Okay.
So I would not be worried at all. There is a vaccine that potentially could have serious side effects, although it's extremely rare, and that is yellow fever. So if you are getting a yellow fever vaccine, the consultant or the travel expert would explain that to you before you get it. Also, if somebody is immunocompromised, for ladies who are pregnant, there are certain vaccines that they shouldn't be getting.
Okay, so if you're pregnant or you have immunocompromised,
or you have immunosuppressive medications.
Okay, so
there are certain vaccines that should not be given to you.
Okay, such as
Such as yellow fever, chikungunya, which is actually a new vaccine, measles, mumps, rubella, which is commonly given,
okay,
and chickenpox.
okay.
And those are live vaccines.
So let's say if we are pregnant and we're going to South Africa, somewhere where we require yellow fever, what would we do in it instead?
Well, hopefully you're going to a country that you would not need the yellow fever vaccine.
Okay.
Yeah, so for South Africa, you wouldn't actually need yellow fever unless you go from a country in Africa that it has risk of yellow fever. You would not need the vaccines because there is no risk of yellow fever in South Africa.
Okay.
So if you are pregnant, then technically you should not be getting that vaccine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in terms of the vaccine for yellow fever, which countries would you say you should get it for sure?
Some countries in South America, like
Okay.
if you are going to go into the Amazon area,
Okay.
or some countries in Africa, the upper portion of the African continent.
Okay. So on the upper part. Okay.
But not including Egypt or Morocco. Like right below Egypt and Morocco, all those countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda.
Those are okay?
No, you actually need.
Oh, you actually need
yes.
Okay, for yellow fever. So Tanzania,
if you're going from Kenya, because most people go to Kenya and then from Kenya they go to Tanzania, so they would need the yellow fever vaccine because legally they might ask you at the airport.
Okay, so which countries would ask you at the airport to have the vaccination?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. So we have to check to see which countries ask for proof of vaccinations.
Okay, and where do we find the locations for where the vaccines, like let's say which countries we're going to travel, where do we look to see if we need
So you could go to CDC Yellow Book.
Okay.
Yeah.
CDC Yellow Book. Okay.
But there are certain countries that have low risk or no risk of yellow fever, but if you are coming from a yellow fever country, they might still ask you for it. So it just depends on your itinerary.
Okay.
And usually the travel expert would review your itinerary and would be able to tell you whether you would need the yellow fever vaccine or not.
Okay. And then if you get your vaccination, do you carry the information around that you've been vaccinated? Is there
yes.
Like
so we give a certificate.
A certificate. Okay. Yeah. So there's a certificate that comes after your vaccination so that you know that you've had all the vaccinations.
Exactly.
Okay. Fantastic. So Amir, one of the things that TravelVAX World looks at is local charities and sustainability. What kind of things does your business do in terms of supporting local communities?
So because we are a new business, we just opened actually about a year ago. We haven't done any sort of charity work, but this is something that for sure we would be happy to be involved in. So if any of you guys know any organization that we could donate money to or help out, we would be more than happy to do that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you heard it here. If there's any charities or any companies that want support in terms of
sustainability, environment,
sustainability or environment, please contact Amir.
Yes,
or
and my email address is amir@travelvax.ca.
Yeah.
amir@travelvax.ca.
Great. Thank you so much, Amir.
Thank you.
Also, do you have any promotions? Like if we're going to be traveling tomorrow, do you have any promotions for?
Not right now.
But in the future.
But it's something that if we do decide in January, because it's high season, I might reach out to you, and if you want to share it with your viewers, for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Amir.
no problem.
Okay, great. This is Amir at TravelVAX, and we just want to thank Amir for all his knowledge and insight, having all this experience of travel, both being a pharmacist and of avid traveler. So also, what are the top 3 places that you would say are your favorite places to travel to?
to travel to.
Since
Well, I haven't been.
travel.
There are a lot of countries that I want to travel to that I haven't been to. But I would say to the countries that I've been to,
Yes.
I really enjoyed my time in Indonesia. Bali, Gili
Bali.
Island, Lombok. Colombia is awesome. It's not expensive.
Good to know. That's on our next TravelVAX World Travel.
I also like the Costa Rica because
Costa
it's
Rica.
a beautiful country. Expensive, not cheap because you are competing with American dollars, but
really lovely, like beaches and
beautiful.
Oh,
Like the whole country is built in the middle of the forest. It seems like
amazing.
Yeah. So those are my top three.
Top three. Thank you so much, Amir.
No problem.
And thank you for our viewers. Hope this was insightful, and we'll put the information if you are in Vancouver below. But also if you're looking for other areas for vaccinations, we'll also put some information. And also Amir mentioned CDC
Yellow Book.
CDC Yellow Book
Yeah.
is where you find out what kind of which countries you'll require vaccinations.
Yeah.
So again, thank you.
And if you guys have any questions about travel medicine or travel vaccinations or what vaccines you might need, just shoot me an email and I'll be more than
And I'll
happy
put
to.
Amir's email below. Thank you so much, and
Thank
have a great day.